Page 65, Chapter 6, Towards a Conclusion. The Aryans and the Harappan Culture. It is claimed that the Aryans created the Harappan culture. However, such a claim is baseless. Majumdar, Nilkant Shastri, Bhandarkar and Raichaudhuri, who believed in the greatness of the Indian culture, did not consider the Aryans to be the creators of the Harappan culture. The mature Harappan culture is placed between 2500 and 1700 BC, while the Vedic people appear in the scene later. Despite indications of contact between the Harappans and the outsiders, there is nothing to show that the elements of material culture prominently associated with the Aryans dominated Harappan civilization. It is significant that the Rig Vedic culture was pastoral and horse-centered, while the Harappan culture was neither horse-centered nor pastoral. Whatever evidence we have for the remains of the horse belong to the later Harappan times.
The culture which has been reconstructed on the basis of the Avesta and the Rig Veda does not have its counterpart in the Harappan culture. The Harappan centers show a well-planned city and provide strong evidence of crafts, commerce, and storehouse. Harappan monuments were built of burnt bricks, and the lanes in the city were covered with them. The Rig Veda, on the other hand, does not show any trace of these elements. Page 66, para. Indra, the chief god of the Aryans, is described as a destroyer of forts, that is Purandara. Sometimes Pur, P-U-R, is understood to mean fortified settlement, but it is also interpreted as village. Even if Pur is taken as a fortified settlement, it may possibly refer to a small settlement in late Harappan times. It may also point to some of the forts which were destroyed in Baluchistan, Afghanistan, and the neighboring regions of South Central Asia around 1800 BC. On the basis of stratigraphy, stratigraphy, Danny holds that the grave people of Gumla who practiced post-cremation burial destroyed the Harappan culture of the Gumla site. Footnote 1. It is significant that the Rig Veda does not refer to real forts in the possession of the Aryans. The Aryans pray to Agni and ask that he protect them as a fort would. Footnote 2. The later Vedic texts attribute the cause of the defeat of the Devas at the hands of the Asuras to the lack of forts or pur among the former. Footnote 3. Para. Futile attempts have been made to read Sanskrit in the Harappan script. The Harappan script has been in the process of being deciphered over the last 70 years, during which more than 50 scholars have tried their hand at it. Most scholars work on the basis of the hypothesis of a Proto-Dravidian language. Mahadevan has made a commendable effort in this direction. With the help of the computer, he has analyzed the signs of the Harappan script and given useful information about its orientation. But so far, scholars have not accepted the results of the readings of those who have tried to decipher the Harappan script on the basis of either Proto-Dravidian or Tamil. Efforts have been made to read the Harappan script with the help of several non-Indo-European languages, such as Elamite, E-L-A-M-I-T-E, Sumerian, and Egyptian, but nobody has achieved any mentionable success. However, those who have tried to read the script on the basis of Proto Dravidian and other known Indo European languages are in a larger number. Para. Clearly, there is little possibility of the Harappan script being written in the Indo-Aryan languages appear in the northwest of the subcontinent and then spread towards the east and south. The existing substratum of languages in the Harappan area shows that the earliest language prevalent in that area is not Indo-Aryan. It is remarkable that the Brahmi language, Brahmi, which belongs to the Dravidian stock, is found in Baluchistan on the west of the Indus. The Brahmi speaking, actually the print is Brahui, Brahui, but I think it'll be Brahmi. The Brahmi speaking belt appears to be the remnant of a larger area in which a Dravidian language was spoken. At present, it is like a small island in the vast Indo-Aryan speaking ocean around it. But in ancient times, it may have been connected with Proto-Dravidian settlements within the territory of what is now Iran. Harmatta identifies these settlements as those of Kopet, Kopet, Dag, Dag, and possibly of Shahar, Shahr-I-Sokta, Khta, footnote 4, stop, page 69, continued.
The Indo-Aryans, or the Proto-Indians, first settled in this part of the Indian subcontinent, and because of mutual contact, they seem to have borrowed many terms of the Dravidian origin into the Sanskrit language. These words could not have been derived from the area south of the Vindhyas, because in the Indian peninsula, the inscriptional presence of the Dravidian language is not earlier than 300 BC, and the advent of this language in the south cannot be pushed back earlier than 1000 BC. Para. Recently, it has been demonstrated that the Dravidian language is linked with the Elamite language. The Elamite has set up a large kingdom in the 3rd millennium BC in South Iran, and they had also developed a script which is closer to the Sumerian and can be placed in the later half of the 4th millennium BC. The script, therefore, can be called Proto-Elamite. It is impossible to think of the presence of the Indo-Aryans in South Iran in the 4th and the 3rd millennia BC because of the effective presence of the Elamite kingdom. Page 69. The language found in the Elamite inscriptions of the 3rd millennium BC has been connected with the Dravidian languages. The linguist McAlpin holds that both the Elamite and the Dravidian languages belong to the same language family and postulates the presence of a Proto-Elamite Dravidian language. According to him, the Brahui language, capital Brahui, Brahui language, found in Baluchistan, is derived from this language and belongs to the northern Dravidian family. McAlpin throws light on the pastoral vocabulary of the Proto-Elamite Dravidian language and shows that with the progress of the Dravidians in the Indian subcontinent, this vocabulary underwent modification. Footnote 5. It is significant that the Proto-Elamite Dravidian language has only one type of word for brick. This discovery is of the greatest importance because bricks were used on a large scale in the Harappan and other neighboring urban civilizations of the Bronze Age. After the end of the Harappan culture, burnt bricks are not found, within brackets so far, in North India until 300 BC, although mud bricks are probably mentioned in later Vedic literature. According to McAlpin, the Proto-Elamite Dravidian culture disintegrated around 4000 BC.
Whatever the exact date of this event might be, historians are gradually accepting the close relationship between the Elamite language and the Dravidian languages, page 70, which include Brahui, footnote 6. All this shows that a vast area with a pre Aryan population extended from South Iran through Afghanistan to Baluchistan, in which the speakers of the Indo Iranian and the Indo Aryan languages settled after 2000 BC. Para. It is argued that fire altars are a trait of the Aryans and they have been found in Lothal and Kalibangan, but significantly enough, they are reported neither from Harappa nor from Mohenjo-daro. Footnote 7. As shown earlier, the practice of cremation favored by the Vedic people did not prevail in the mature Harappan phase. Para. Attempts are also made to argue for an Aryan character of the Harappan culture on the basis of the find of a quote, Shiva unquote image. An image on a seal around which there are several animals has been found. However, this cannot be regarded as Pashupati Shiva. Footnote 8. Similar horned images are also found in early times in Central Asia and elsewhere. Although the hymns of the Rig Veda are dedicated to numerous gods, Shiva is not mentioned in any of them. The excavations of Harappa have exposed many human skeletons. These have been carefully examined, and none of them can be called, quote, typical Aryan, unquote, stock. These skeletons are placed in three categories. They suggest that some people came from the Mediterranean area and lived in Western Asia. The second category belonged to the Proto-Australoid stock, and their anatomical features are found among the Dravidian peoples. Proto-Australoids live in Australia and in the islands of the Indian Ocean. The third category is that of the Mongoloids, and only one skeleton of this type has been found. So far, the Harappan skeletons do not give any evidence of the presence of what is considered to be the Aryan physical type, which itself is a matter of considerable debate. Para. It is argued that the later Vedic Aryans created the Harappan culture. Footnote 9. However, the later Vedic culture does not match the Harappan culture. In later Vedic texts, the cattle rearing society of the Rig Veda becomes primarily agricultural. The people use iron, though its use is confined mainly to war and hunting. Iron is clearly attested in the Vedic texts. Footnote 10. Iron is not used in the Harappan culture, which employs bronze and stone implements. Further, the type of crafts, trade, and urban life typical of Harappa are clearly lacking in the later Vedic texts. Almost all the leading scholars of the history of Sanskrit literature hold that the later Vedic period started after 1000 BC. Since the mature Harappan culture ends around 1600 BC, it cannot be attributed to the later Vedic people. Page 71.